This next story, we didn't hear a lot of it back east in 1970, but as I look back now, this was really a pretty interesting thing. Stories were circulating around Western Canada for a few months now about the professional hockey returning to Alberta, specifically in Edmonton and Calgary, in the form of franchises in the Western Hockey League. The Western League at this point seemed to be on its last legs, with NHL invading the West Coast, and a revival could take place with some teams in other cities, not right on the coast, like Calgary and Edmonton. The big hope in Edmonton was the Imlach Sports and Entertainment Center that was being built in the downtown. It hadn't been approved yet, and everyone was hoping that if this was given approval by Edmonton Council, that an NHL team would not be far behind. In fact, there were a lot of people working behind the scenes in Edmonton who would settle for nothing less than an NHL franchise. But who were the people behind these movements? Well, the guy who was holding everything up was a well-known Edmontonian by the name of Bill Hunter, often called Wild Bill Hunter. His associates, however, hadn't been at this point publicly revealed, but according to Wayne Overlander of the Edmonton Journal, it really wasn't much of a secret. Overlander said that Hunter's major partner in the investment business is not only a major financial force in Edmonton, but reaches across Canada and into the United States. Hunter also had associates in other Western Canada cities with sizable financial resources. It's no wonder that knowledgeable businessmen are keenly interested in operating NHL hockey at the proposed Omniplex Arena, which is probably going to be the largest arena in the world if it actually comes to pass. The NHL in Edmonton wouldn't have to draw one single fan for 27 home games if it sold out the remaining 12 home games. You get that? Well, what Overland's really referring to is the fact that the arena is going to seat 19,600 fans for hockey, and that the Edmonton fans would fill the place up every night for games against Boston, New York, Montreal, Chicago, and Detroit. Not to mention the Maple Leafs, who are awful right now. Still a lot of Maple Leaf fans in Western Canada. Now, he cites as the Boston games in Vancouver so far this season, which have been sold out since last summer. But Hunter and his group aren't the only people who think the NHL can be a surefire success in the city of Edmonton. Roger Bourbonnais is one of these guys. He's a former Canadian national team player who became a lawyer in Edmonton and has been flying fans from Edmonton and Calgary to the games in Vancouver. Bourbonnais told the Edmonton Journal just this past week that the city will get an NHL team once the Omniplex is completed. Ray Konasowicz, who's the former general manager coach at Salt Lake City in the Western Hockey League, stated that NHL hockey is a logical venture in Edmonton with a suitable facility, and he said that he was aware that influential people in the NHL have been following these developments in Edmonton very closely. He indicated that those people were the Knox brothers in Buffalo, who of course just brought expansion hockey, NHL hockey, to that city. The Sabres general manager, Coach Punch Imlach, visited Edmonton last summer, and he got a good look at models and the plans for the Omniplex project, and he said that if this project came to fruition, that it would definitely mean a National Hockey League franchise would be coming to Edmonton either by way of expansion or the move of a franchise that had some difficulty. And of course, the teams in Pittsburgh and California come to mind there. Imlach said the success of the Vancouver Canucks and the Montreal Expos at the box office is convincing Americans that Canadian cities can definitely support major sport. while Bill Hunter thinks they can't help but make money with an NHL team. Hunter says the Imlach, with 19,600 seats, would be the largest and most modern arena available in the NHL. The success of the football Edmonton Eskimos at the box office was given as another reason for bringing the NHL to Edmonton. Hunter said that the Eskies only have 8 home games and operate on a budget of $900,000. Hunter says the budget for an NHL team is only $300,000, and yet they have 39 home games. The Eskies draw 23,000 fans a game, and an NHL team, if they all sold out, would have 19,000 fans a game for 39 dates. Do the math. Hunter went on to say that the NHL would be the major tenant of the Omniplex, and it would generate about $750,000 annually in rents, concessions, and parking. The NHL, Bill says, could easily make the Omniplex a paying proposition in its very first year. He projected that because of the size of the arena, the Edmonton NHL ticket prices, he says, would be among the lowest in the National Hockey League, ranging from a low of $350 to about $650 for the top seats, and that's about the same as the Edmonton Eskimos CFL prices. Bill Hunter is so convinced that there will be NHL hockey in Edmonton that he has said that there will be a contest held to determine the name of the proposed new team. He's thinking that far ahead already. NHL hockey in Edmonton. Can you imagine that? Well, all this stuff from Bill Hunter was followed up a couple days later from a source no less than the Canadian Press, who published a story saying that written application has been submitted to the National Hockey League from the city of Edmonton, requesting consideration for a National Hockey League franchise, and the head of the group was, as we mentioned, Bill Hunter. The application, according to the Canadian Press, and made by Hunter, said that his group of associates with financial resources and backgrounds, which I am positive will make them acceptable to the governors of the National Hockey League, is requesting an NHL franchise upon completion of a suitable arena. Now, all this, of course, is contingent on the arena actually being completed. Well, Edmonton taxpayers will soon vote on the $32.5 million covered center, which will include the football field, a hockey rink, and trade and convention centers. Now, Hunter is, of course, going public with his request for a franchise in order to convince the good citizens of Edmonton to vote for the center. Says it's large enough to house an NHL team, and really isn't that what all sports fans in Edmonton would like? There's a lot of controversy about the plan, and it's not a slam dunk that this will be approved. But if it does go through, you have to think that the NHL will seriously look at Edmonton as a home for a new team.